Ladies and gentlemen, imagine standing at the edge of a land no map has ever drawn, where every step could reveal wonder or danger. And the only certainty is that turning back means never knowing what might have been. Would you dare to take that first step? Undiscovered potential is one of the most fascinating truths about human existence, for it reminds us that just as unexplored lands wait silently beneath dense forests or high on forgotten plateaus, there are vast territories of power, talent, and creativity within each of us. Too often we move through life believing that what we see in ourselves today is all there is, but hidden deep inside are capabilities we cannot yet imagine. Think of the countless moments in history when individuals stepped into challenges they never believed they could handle, only to find that strength and brilliance came alive when circumstances demanded it. That discovery is not reserved for the exceptional. It is woven into the very nature of being human. Like a hidden world beneath the surface, our true depth is revealed only when we are willing to search for it, explore it, and give it the chance to rise. The concept of undiscovered potential is not about having something added to us from the outside, but about unlocking what already lies dormant within. Many of us confuse limitation with reality. We assume that because we have never done something, it means we never can. In truth, untapped ability sits quietly until we direct our energy and focus toward it. It is like a seed planted in the soil, invisible, waiting, and underestimated, yet full of the power to grow into something vast and transformative. The seed does not require new DNA to produce a towering tree. It only needs the right conditions, care, and time. So it is with human ability. Once we nurture curiosity, discipline, and courage, that hidden strength begins to push upward, breaking the surface of self, doubt, and hesitation. Discovering potential is rarely comfortable. It often happens when life places us in difficult, even impossible situations. Imagine someone who never thought they could endure pain or struggle, suddenly confronted with a challenge that forces them to keep moving forward. In that moment, an inner resource is awakened. The human spirit is remarkable in this way. It reveals itself most vividly not when things are easy, but when the stakes are high. Potential is like a river trapped underground, quiet and unseen, until pressure builds and it bursts forth with unstoppable force. The discovery is shocking, sometimes overwhelming, but always life-changing. Suddenly, we realize that the limits we once believed in were nothing more than illusions, drawn by fear or habit. Exploration of potential requires imagination. Before anyone can step into their own hidden abilities, they must believe there is more to find. The greatest barrier is not a lack of skill or strength, but the refusal to look deeper. Too many people accept life as it is, never questioning whether a greater version of themselves lies waiting. But those who dare to ask, those who remain restless in the face of complacency, begin to uncover vast reserves of possibility. They treat each failure not as proof of inadequacy, but as evidence that they are stretching into new territory. Each challenge becomes a map leading further into unexplored lands within themselves. Over time, they learn that the unknown is not something to fear, but something to welcome. For it is in the unknown that growth, strength, and greatness are found. What makes undiscovered potential so powerful is that it is limitless. Unlike external treasures that can be measured or depleted, the inner resources of human beings expand with use. The more courage you display, the more courage you develop. The more creativity you allow, the greater your capacity for innovation becomes. Hidden potential grows the moment it is brought into the light. This is why the most inspiring figures in history are not those who simply had gifts, but those who pushed themselves beyond the boundaries of what was comfortable or expected. Their journeys remind us that every person carries within them a lost world of possibility, waiting to be revealed. The journey of discovering potential is not about sudden transformation. It is a gradual unveiling. Like an explorer stepping carefully into uncharted territory, progress happens step by step. Each small act of faith, each decision to push a little further, opens up more ground within. Over time, what was once unimaginable becomes natural, and what was once natural becomes extraordinary. In this way, the hidden world inside us is not discovered all at once but piece by piece, like an ancient landscape slowly coming into view as the mist clears. What once seemed distant and unreachable is suddenly real, solid, and alive within us, reminding us that we have always been more than we believed. Courage to step beyond limits is one of the greatest acts a human being can embrace, because limits are often illusions formed by fear, comfort, and habit. Many people live within invisible walls, constructed not by reality, but by assumptions they have accepted about what is possible. These walls feel solid because they have been reinforced by repeated patterns of behavior, the opinions of others, or past failures. Yet, the moment someone dares to challenge these boundaries, they realize that what they thought was a barrier is more like a thin veil waiting to be pushed aside. Courage is the force that moves us through this veil, and without it, we remain trapped in a small world when a vast horizon waits outside. To step beyond limits does not always require grand gestures. Sometimes it begins with a simple decision to act differently than before. Fear whispers that safety lies in staying the same, but the truth is that safety often becomes a cage that prevents growth. Imagine a person who has dreamed of creating something, traveling somewhere, or speaking their truth, but who constantly silences themselves with excuses. The day they decide to act, even in a small way, they begin to taste the freedom that courage brings. It is not the absence of fear that defines bravery, but the willingness to move forward despite it. Every step beyond the comfort zone feels uncertain, but it is in that uncertainty that transformation takes place. Limits are designed to test us. They exist as markers where the mind says, "Here is where you stop." But the spirit quietly insists, "Here is where you begin." Each time we confront these markers, we have a choice to retreat into what we know or to risk stepping into what we do not yet understand. Those who choose the second path are often surprised to find that strength rises to meet them in ways they never anticipated. A climber facing the edge of a mountain does not feel ready until they take the step upward, and it is in that act that new strength flows through their body. The same is true in every area of life. The moment we move past self-imposed restrictions, resources within us awaken, showing us that our limits were never final, but only waiting for courage to dissolve them. What gives courage its power is not just that it helps us achieve more, but that it changes our relationship with fear itself. When we consistently practice stepping beyond limits, fear loses its authority over us. It becomes a signal, not a stop sign. It tells us we are nearing the edge of growth. And instead of retreating, we learn to interpret that signal as a call to expand. This mindset shift transforms ordinary people into extraordinary adventurers of life. They do not wait for perfect conditions, nor do they expect certainty before moving forward. Instead, they accept the unknown as a companion and learn to trust their ability to adapt, adjust, and discover strength as they go. Stepping beyond limits also inspires others. Courage is contagious. When one person dares to act boldly, it awakens courage in those who witness it. Families, communities, and even entire generations have been moved forward by the bravery of individuals who refuse to accept restrictions. This ripple effect shows that courage is not only a personal act but a gift to the world. By breaking boundaries in our own lives, we create new possibilities for others to follow. We demonstrate that the walls they see around themselves are not as unbreakable as they appear. The journey of moving past limits is ongoing. Each time a boundary is crossed, a new one eventually appears. Growth does not remove challenges, it simply prepares us for larger ones. But with each act of bravery, our capacity to face the unknown grows stronger. What once terrified us becomes familiar, and what once felt impossible becomes routine. This is how human potential expands, through repeated choices to step just beyond what feels safe. The horizon keeps stretching further, and as long as we keep walking toward it, we discover more of what we are capable of becoming. Courage ensures that we never remain confined to the narrow spaces of yesterday, but instead continue to push into the wide, uncharted lands of tomorrow. Facing the unknown is one of the most defining experiences in life, because it strips away illusions of control and places us in direct contact with mystery, uncertainty, and fear. Every human being encounters moments when the path ahead is unclear, when the next step feels like walking into darkness without knowing if the ground will support us. These moments test the depth of our faith in ourselves, in life, and in the unseen possibilities that lie beyond fear. The unknown holds both danger and opportunity, and our response to it shapes who we become. Some retreat, allowing uncertainty to keep them bound in the familiar. Others choose to step forward, and in doing so, they discover that the unknown is not simply emptiness, but a gateway to transformation. The reason the unknown feels so intimidating is that the mind craves certainty. Our survival instincts are built on prediction, on knowing what will happen next, so we can prepare for it. When that sense of predictability disappears, our imagination rushes to fill the space with doubts and fears. We picture worst-case scenarios, disasters, or failures, convincing ourselves that stepping forward is too dangerous. Yet history shows that most breakthroughs, discoveries, and personal victories come from those who walked directly into uncertainty instead of running from it. The unknown is not an enemy, but a mirror, reflecting our deepest anxieties, and it challenges us to move forward, even when every instinct tells us to turn back. The unknown also awakens a sense of wonder. Just as explorers once set sail across uncharted seas, not knowing if they would find new lands or fall off the edge of the world, we too face mysteries that ask us to trust in possibilities we cannot yet see. Every dream begins in the unknown. The moment before we try something new, before we take on a challenge or open ourselves to change, we are standing on the edge of mystery. That edge is where growth is born. Without uncertainty, there is no adventure, no discovery, no expansion of who we are. The unknown is the soil in which new beginnings are planted. And though it feels uncertain, it is also fertile with opportunity. Those who face the unknown with courage often uncover parts of themselves they never knew existed. When familiar tools fail, they invent new ones. When the path disappears, they create their own trail. This process of adaptation strengthens not only skills, but also spirit. A person who has faced the unknown once learns that fear is not an ending point, but an initiation into greater resilience. Each time they enter uncertainty and emerge stronger, they build confidence that the next unknown will also yield hidden treasures. It becomes less about conquering fear and more about dancing with it, allowing its presence to sharpen awareness without dictating the outcome. The unknown also has a way of humbling us. It reminds us that no matter how much we learn or achieve, there will always be mysteries greater than our understanding. This humility is not weakness, but wisdom. It keeps us open, curious, and ready to learn. Those who embrace the unknown develop a spirit of exploration that never fades, because they understand that certainty is temporary and mystery is endless. In this openness, they find a richness of experience that those clinging to safety never taste. The unknown becomes a companion rather than an adversary, a reminder that life's greatest treasures are often hidden behind veils of uncertainty. What makes facing the unknown truly powerful is that it reshapes our identity. A person who steps into uncertainty does not remain the same, they are altered by the experience. They return with deeper knowledge of themselves, with stories that inspire others, and with a renewed sense of what is possible. The unknown, once feared, becomes a source of empowerment. It shows us that we are far more capable, adaptable, and resourceful than we believed. And while the fear of uncertainty never fully disappears, our relationship to it evolves. Instead of paralyzing us, it becomes a signal that we are standing at the doorway of growth. Each time we choose to face the unknown, we expand the borders of who we are and prepare ourselves for horizons that stretch endlessly beyond what we once imagined. Unity in purpose is one of the most powerful forces that can carry individuals and groups through challenges that would otherwise be impossible to face. When people come together, aligned by a common vision, the energy they create multiplies far beyond what each could accomplish alone. It is not just about working side by side, but about fusing strengths, perspectives, and determination into a shared journey. Human history is filled with examples of how unity has turned the improbable into the possible, from great discoveries to survival in harsh conditions. A single voice can be ignored, a single hand can be limited, but when many hearts beat with the same rhythm of purpose, barriers that once seemed unbreakable begin to crumble. What makes unity in purpose extraordinary is the way it allows individuals to rise above their own limitations. Alone, a person may feel weak or uncertain. But when joined with others who share the same mission, they are reminded that their contribution matters to something greater than themselves. The awareness that one is part of a collective effort provides strength in moments of doubt. A climber struggling to take the next step on a steep path is often fueled by the knowledge that their team depends on them, that every step forward contributes to the progress of all. In this way, unity transforms individual effort into collective power, creating momentum that can overcome obstacles too heavy for one person to carry. The beauty of shared purpose is found in diversity of strengths. Each person carries unique talents, insights, and perspectives, and when these are combined under one vision, the group becomes far more capable than any single member. One may bring courage in the face of fear, another may bring wisdom to guide decisions, while yet another may offer endurance to carry the journey through its longest trials. Unity does not mean sameness. It means harmony among differences. Just as an orchestra creates music not by repeating the same note, but by blending varied instruments, so too does unity thrive by combining distinct contributions into one powerful whole. This harmony ensures that, when one falters, another can step forward, and when one lacks clarity, another can provide direction. Trust is the foundation that makes unity possible. Without trust, even the strongest vision will crumble under the weight of suspicion or conflict. Trust allows people to believe that others are committed to the same goal, that sacrifices are shared, and that victories are celebrated together. When trust deepens, individuals no longer guard their energy in fear of betrayal. They give freely, knowing that their effort will be matched. This creates a cycle of reinforcement where each act of dedication strengthens the collective bond. In moments of crisis, it is not just the vision that holds people together, but the unshakable belief that they can rely on one another. That bond becomes a shield against despair and a compass pointing toward progress. Unity in purpose also has the power to create resilience against external challenges. Obstacles that might break apart an isolated individual often only serve to strengthen a united group. Pressure from outside becomes a reason to close ranks, to push harder, and to stand firm together. Adversity, instead of scattering the group, becomes a catalyst for deeper solidarity. The knowledge that one is not alone in the struggle transforms fear into determination. Each setback is faced collectively, turning what could have been a crushing weight into a shared burden that feels lighter when carried by many shoulders. This resilience allows the group to move forward, even when circumstances appear overwhelming. Another profound effect of unity in purpose is the sense of meaning it gives to each participant. People long to know that their actions matter, that their lives are part of something larger. When united under a shared vision, individuals find a sense of belonging that transcends personal ambition. Their struggles are no longer isolated, and their victories are no longer solitary. They become part of a story greater than themselves. A journey where each voice and each step contributes to a legacy that will outlast them. This sense of meaning provides motivation, even in the darkest hours, for it assures each person that their effort is woven into a greater tapestry of purpose. Ultimately, unity in purpose transforms ordinary journeys into extraordinary ones. It takes scattered individuals and forges them into a force capable of facing the unknown with courage and determination. Alone, people may stumble and falter, but together, guided by trust and strengthened by shared vision, they find within themselves the ability to endure, to adapt, and to triumph. The power of unity lies not only in achieving external goals but in awakening the deepest parts of human spirit, showing us that when hearts and minds align in common purpose, there are no limits to what can be discovered, built, and overcome. Survival and adaptability are two forces that shape the essence of human progress. For life has never been a smooth path of certainty, but rather an ever-shifting landscape filled with challenges, surprises, and trials. To survive is not merely to exist, but to meet obstacles head-on and endure through them. Adaptability is the companion of survival, for survival alone may allow us to hold on temporarily, but adaptability ensures that we thrive and evolve through the very struggles that threaten to hold us back. Throughout history, every step forward has been born from the willingness not just to endure difficulty, but to reshape ourselves in response to it, to change methods when old ones fail, and to find strength in circumstances that at first seemed unbearable. The instinct to survive awakens the deepest reserves of energy within us. When faced with danger or hardship, human beings often surprise themselves with what they are capable of doing. A person may think they are too weak to face a challenge until the challenge arrives, and suddenly they discover resilience they never knew existed. This is the raw power of survival. It draws upon hidden strength that lies dormant until the moment it is needed. Yet survival without adaptability is fragile, because life's trials rarely repeat themselves in the same way. What saves us once may not save us again. For this reason, adaptability becomes essential, allowing us to adjust to new conditions, new pressures, and new environments with creativity and courage. Adaptability is not simply about changing actions, but about shifting perspective. Those who endure life's storms are often the ones who learn to see obstacles not as walls, but as doors disguised in difficulty. Where some see failure, the adaptable see lessons. Where some see endings, the adaptable see beginnings. This ability to reinterpret challenge transforms survival from a desperate clinging to life into an opportunity for growth. Adaptability gives us the flexibility to bend without breaking, to adjust our strategies without abandoning our vision. Just as trees survive fierce winds by swaying rather than resisting, so too do adaptable people survive turmoil by finding ways to move with change rather than against it. Survival and adaptability also reveal the creative spirit of humanity. Many of the greatest inventions and discoveries have come from necessity, when survival demanded new solutions. The fire that warmed early humans, the tools that built civilizations, the medicines that cured diseases, all arose because life presented challenges that could not be met by existing means. Faced with uncertainty, people adapted by creating, by innovating, by daring to try something different. This pattern continues in every life. When hardship strikes, the choice is either to collapse under its weight or to let it spark the creativity that finds a way forward. Adaptability transforms the very energy of struggle into the fuel of discovery, proving that what threatens us can also teach us. Another aspect of survival and adaptability is the inner strength they cultivate. Those who endure trials do not emerge unchanged. They carry with them a deeper understanding of themselves. They learn where their true limits lie and often realize that those limits are far greater than they imagined. Every hardship endured becomes proof of resilience. Every adaptation made becomes evidence of flexibility. Over time, this builds a foundation of confidence that no external condition can easily shake. The person who has faced adversity and adapted learns that change, no matter how daunting, can be navigated. This realization removes much of the fear that uncertainty once held, for they know they can survive not just what they expect, but also what they cannot foresee. Survival and adaptability are not solitary experiences either. They thrive within communities and groups. People working together share strategies, support one another in weakness, and learn collectively how to adjust to new realities. A community that adapts together becomes stronger than one that fractures under pressure. Shared survival bonds people in ways that comfort never could. Struggles faced collectively leave behind stories of courage and resourcefulness that inspire future generations to do the same. In this way, adaptability is not just an individual trait, but a cultural inheritance passed down in lessons, traditions, and examples that remind people how to thrive even when the world changes suddenly and without warning. The true power of survival and adaptability lies in their ability to transform hardship into growth. A person who endures difficulty without breaking learns that pain can carve out new spaces for wisdom. A person who adapts discovers that change does not have to destroy, but can instead renew. Together, these forces ensure that human beings are never permanently trapped by circumstance. They allow us to meet the unpredictability of life with courage, with creativity, and with endurance. Every challenge becomes an invitation to evolve. Every trial an opportunity to prove that resilience and adaptability are the keys not only to surviving, but to flourishing in the ever-changing journey of existence. Legacy of discovery is one of the most profound gifts left behind by those who dare to venture into the unknown and uncover truths, wonders, and lessons that change the course of others' lives. Every great explorer, innovator, or dreamer has carried within them the courage to step where no one else has gone, and when they return, they do not come back empty-handed. They bring knowledge, inspiration, and proof that boundaries can be broken. This legacy becomes a guiding light for those who follow, showing that discovery is not just about personal achievement, but about leaving behind a trail that others may walk, expand, and build upon. A discovery may begin as one person's private journey, but its impact often ripples outward into history, shaping generations far beyond the original seeker. The power of a discovery lies not only in what is found, but in what it represents. A new land, a new idea, a new perspective, or even a new level of inner strength serves as evidence that limits are not final. When someone uncovers something extraordinary, it expands the collective vision of what is possible. Before the discovery, the world may seem smaller, constrained by what is already known. Afterward, horizons stretch wider, inviting countless others to imagine more. This is why discoveries are remembered not only for their immediate impact, but for the spirit of possibility they ignite. They remind humanity that mystery remains, that growth is endless, and that courage in one life can inspire transformation in countless others. Legacy of discovery also carries a responsibility. Those who find something new hold in their hands not just a personal victory, but a treasure meant to benefit others. Knowledge kept hidden loses its power, but knowledge shared becomes a seed that grows in many places. When a person shares their lessons, insights, or achievements, they give others tools to build further, sparing them from starting at zero. Each new generation inherits not just land or wealth, but the wisdom gained by those who came before. This accumulation of discoveries is what allows humanity to progress, layer by layer, creating civilizations, technologies, and philosophies far beyond what any single person could achieve alone. The legacy becomes a foundation on which others can climb to even greater heights. The emotional resonance of discovery is another element of its legacy. Stories of those who braved uncharted worlds, who refused to bow to doubt, who overcame fear to bring back something valuable. These stories endure in memory because they speak to the universal human desire for growth and meaning. A child listening to tales of exploration feels their imagination expand. A seeker reading about great innovators feels a fire kindle within them. This emotional inheritance is as important as the discovery itself, for it continues to inspire action long after the original moment has passed. Long after the explorers are gone, the echo of their bravery continues to awaken courage in those who follow. The legacy of discovery is also deeply personal. It is not reserved only for those who uncover new continents or scientific laws. Every individual has the power to leave behind discoveries that matter. When someone learns how to overcome their own fear, when they find a new way to heal, when they create beauty from struggle, they too create a legacy that others can learn from. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are not external, but internal. Discoveries of resilience, compassion, or purpose. When these are shared, they ripple outward, shaping families, communities, and even strangers in unseen ways. Legacy is not measured by fame, but by the impact it leaves in the hearts and minds of others. Discovery also has the unique quality of transcending time. What is uncovered today may not reach its full importance until years or centuries later. Many thinkers and explorers were not celebrated in their lifetimes, but became guiding stars for future generations. This shows that the legacy of discovery does not end with the discoverer's life, but continues to evolve as long as others keep learning from it. A single insight may lie dormant until the right time, when someone picks it up and carries it forward, giving it new life. In this way, discovery becomes immortal, its legacy stretching beyond individual lifespans into the endless unfolding of human progress. The true beauty of the legacy of discovery is that it calls all of us to become seekers. It reminds us that our lives are not meant to be confined by what already exists, but to push toward what might be. It urges us to ask questions, to remain curious, to embrace uncertainty as the birthplace of new truths. Each person who dares to search leaves behind a mark that whispers to others, "There is more to find, more to learn, more to become." This legacy is a chain of inspiration, unbroken through centuries, connecting every dreamer, every explorer, and every seeker of truth. It teaches that the pursuit of discovery is not only about the individual journey, but about enriching the collective human story, ensuring that future generations inherit not just the world as it is, but the ever-expanding vision of what it can be. The heart of this journey reminds us that life itself is an adventure waiting to be embraced, filled with hidden potential, moments that call for courage, challenges that test our spirit, and opportunities to rise beyond fear into discovery. Within us lies a lost world of strength, creativity, and resilience, and it is only through daring to explore it that we find who we truly are. Together, with unity and trust, we can step beyond limits, adapt to every trial, and leave behind a legacy that inspires others to seek their own horizons. The path may be uncertain, but it is in that very uncertainty that greatness is born, and every step forward becomes a testament that discovery is not just about what lies outside us, but about the infinite possibilities that lie within. Like and subscribe to our channel Dream. Chase to watch the next video.